This state Senate seat is going to decide whether we should just all get into a JetBlue and go to North Carolina, Florida, and Texas, or whether we're going to stay here and build a life for ourselves. It's going to decide whether Jim Zappy should actually continue to build houses in this community. It's going to decide whether the Chicos actually stay in this community and continue to expand, or are forced to either go out of state, move their assets out of state, open up accounts offshore, or whether they're going to stay here in New York. It's going to decide whether Kathy, who left and went out, who sells the homes for Jim Zappy, is going to continue to be able to live here and have a good standard of living. It's going to decide whether, and the Murphys, who came up to Albany, can the Murphys stand up just real quick? They came up to Albany and they met with the Hudson Valley delegation. Now here's some famous names for you. Amy Paulin, Dick Brodsky, George Latimer, Susie Oppenheimer, who walked in her sweatpants, the state senator. And they came up, and I walked in, and I don't get invited to these things. You know, the Hudson Valley delegation gets together, and they don't invite me to come. Because they know if I come, I'm not going to be on their side, I'm not going to play nice, and I'm going to be on the Murphy side. So I walked in there, like the skunk in the picnic, like Jim said, and I could just see Dick Brodsky, the smoke come out of his ears. Susie Oppenheimer, I was like, oh my God, here he comes. And I sat down and I watched Dick Brodsky lean over the table in the arrogant way that only Dick Brodsky can do. And he looked at Miss Murphy and he said, dare you come into my boardroom? I wouldn't, this is an elected official, folks. He said, dare you come into my boardroom? I wouldn't walk into your boardroom and point my finger at you and have that snide remark. If Miss Murphy was my sister or my mom, I would have rabbit punched Dick Brodsky in the head. And he went on to be extremely arrogant. And all of his fellow legislators did the same thing. And I was quiet for about 3 minutes. And I said, Dick, and I love calling him by his first name. I said, Dick Brodsky, you just told this woman who drove all the way up to Albany, these people work for a living. They are taking the day off. They're losing profit. They don't know what's going on back home. They come up here to talk to their elected official. She's nearly in tears. They're pleading with you because of the overtaxation, the overregulation, New York's hostile business environment, and you have the you-know-what to tell them that you wouldn't go into their boardroom. All this legislature does every single day is walk into their boardroom and their homes and their bank accounts and take more and more and more. You know what? They didn't like that. And that means when I ask to co-sponsor a bill or when I'm on the assembly floor, well, they don't invite me to go for golf. They don't invite me to go for drinks. I didn't go to Albany to make friends. I went to Albany to make a difference. And I fight for the people in this room, in this district, every single day. Now that is one very small example. I could tell you stories where I bumped into Sheldon Silver in the elevator and he and I both walk out. And I'm smiling from ear to ear, but he's not very happy. But the point is this, is that when I went to the New York State Legislature, when I knocked on those 12,000 doors, when I ran that campaign for New York State Assembly, my strength was in this room. My strength was in the communities that I represented, and it still is. It still is. And the reason why I have been able to do it, because you have to understand, you're looking at the only Republican in the state. 2 years before Joe Bruno's indictment, I asked Joe Bruno, I demanded that Joe Bruno step down. And my mom was proud when she read that in the New York Times, and the vast majority of people said, boy, that boy's stupid. That was the most powerful man in the state. I don't care if he's a Republican, because a crook by any other name is a crook. And that New York State Senate, controlled by Republicans, sold their soul to the special interest groups. And they cut deal after deal, and they ran this state into the ground. And that was a Republican leadership. The same Republican leadership that picked, guess who? Mr. Bozo. Pedro Espada. So the Republicans, when they decided to, this is a Republican talking to you. Have I gone off the reservation? Yes. Because the reservation stinks. And we need independent leadership in this state. And you're seeing in about 5 minutes, in my presentation to you, why I am very dangerous for the entrenched interest in this state.